Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's Chris and Gio back again with you guys. So y'all are here because y'all want to know what a few things you should know about the bond market. All right, okay, cool. Let's get to it. Hopefully, I can make it clear. It's not that confusing, but we'll see. All right, so bonds. We kind of talked about them before. Basically, a bond is basically an IOU, right? So, for example, my wife, she was having the example that I had before. She has a coffee shop. I want to be able to start off a coffee shop, and she has coffee beans plenty. I need some coffee beans. So she let me borrow some coffee beans. I borrow her coffee beans and I use that to get my coffee shop going. In the meantime, I'm paying her a regular interest rate of like, let's say 10% on 100. So 10 coffee beans every year that she's collecting from me until like maybe the end of 5 years, 10-year period. I give her back the original amount of coffee beans that she lent me in the first place. So that 100 she gets back, plus she got all her interest payments back, interest payments each year. So that's basically what a bond is. It's an IOU. You get it from a company, you get it from a government, whatever. The advantage is that, one, my wife has a promise from me that I'm going to pay her back, which you usually don't get from stocks, right? And two, if I do fail and my coffee shop does go belly up, then she's going to get first dibs on my assets and everything that I have before stockholders get it. So that's the advantages. So when it comes to the bond market, it's really kind of four different types that you'll hear about, right? So you got treasury bonds, you got corporate bonds, you got mortgage-backed securities, and you got municipal bonds. All right. So your treasury bonds are basically your government bond. That's from the federal government, right? Those are pretty much the safest you can get. They're backed by the U.S. government and pretty much the safest. So, and then two, you got your corporate bonds, right? So your corporate bonds are really the bonds you get from like corporate companies and things like that. So so you lend them the money, they use the money to run their business, and then they said they'll give you back, give you interest payments and things like that. Now, usually they're a little bit riskier because, of course, the company can, go bankrupt and then fail. But so that's why the interest payments are usually a little bit higher. So there you go. Then three, you got your mortgage-backed securities. So that's exactly what it says. Those are bonds that are used for mortgages that are used to purchase houses. So those are cool because they're backed by Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, which are like kind of government entities, but not really. But yeah, and so the nice thing is that there's an increase in the interest that you'll get, right? You'll get a nice higher interest rate return, but the little knick-knack thing about it is that if people pay their mortgages off earlier than expected, then yeah, you don't get much back. So it's unknown about how that works. So, and then you got municipal bonds. Those are bonds that you get from city governments, state governments, things like that. And the nice thing about them is that they're usually tax-free in terms of the income that you get, but a lot of times they're pretty expensive to buy. So yeah. So in general, for us young folks, we really shouldn't be messing around with bonds as much because the return is not as great as stocks are, even though they are safer. But we're younger, so we should be taking more risks. So that's just my opinion on that. Of course, you should talk to your tax man, your accountant, or whoever your investment advisor is. But that's me. I don't really mess around with bonds too much. I pretty much go into stocks, but you should know a little bit about the bonds. So there it is. So I hope you guys liked it. If you found value in it, find me on my blog at chrisandgia.com. Put your name and email address in. I'll be sure to give you my free bonus report on 7 easy breezy ways that will force you to save more money every month, even if you don't like to. So till then, guys, stay blessed and be hungry.